So instead of Mrs. Shelf and Teddy story time, it's now Mrs. Shelf and Mo story time. Teddy's somewhere. He just didn't want to read tonight. So this is Mo. He loves pets. So we'll see how long he stays. We're going to be reading The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. And if you know anything about that book, it's kind of like The Jungle Book, but set in a graveyard. So that gives you a little bit of an idea about what it's like. So, Chapter 1. How Nobody Came to the Graveyard. There was a hand in the darkness, and it held a knife. The knife had a handle of polished black bone, and the blade finer and sharper than any razor. If it sliced you, you might not even know you had been cut. Not immediately. Mo. The knife had done almost everything it was brought to the house to do, and both the blade and the handle were wet. The street door was still open, just a little, where the knife and the man who held it had slipped in, and wisps of nightmare mist slithered and twined into the house through the open door. The man, Jack, paused on the landing. With his left hand he pulled a large white handkerchief from the pocket of his black coat, and with it he wiped off the knife and his gloved right hand which had been holding it. Then he put the handkerchief away. The hunt was almost over. He had left the woman in her bed, and the man on the bedroom floor, and the older child in her brightly colored bedroom, surrounded by toys and half-finished models. That only left the little one, a baby, barely a toddler, to take care of. One more, and his task was done. He flexed his fingers. The man, Jack, was, above all things, a professional, and so he told himself, and he would not allow himself to smile until the job was complete. His hair was dark and his eyes were dark, and he wore black leather gloves of the thinnest lambskin. The toddler's room was at the very top of the house. The man, Jack, walked up the stairs, his feet silent on the carpet. He had pushed open the attic door and he walked in. His shoes were black leather, and they were polished to such a fine shine that they looked like dark mirrors. You could see the moon reflected in them, tiny and half full. The real moon shone through the casement window. And Mo was off. We'll see if Teddy comes back.